Hey guys, what is up? So you know I cover Nikki and Gabi. I've covered them on their Snapchat show, and now, excuse me for my voice, I'm not feeling well. Anyways, now I'm going to be covering their whole entire podcast episode by episode. I am definitely late to the party, but yeah, we're going to start with episode 1. I have a lot of catching up to do, so let's just get right to it. I do want to start off by saying that I am so glad they changed their background because this was like draining on the eyes. It was like stabbing. This color was just a little bit too much. But anyways, I love what we got going on here. We have Nikki. She's definitely Ashley Simpson vibes. And then you have Gabi, who's always, dressing very pink, very, fancy vlogs Gabi. And they start off this podcast by really diving into how, this is different. This is not like all their other videos because, usually they're the ones behind the writing, the production, the filming, yada yada, right? Whereas, this company basically hired them to film a podcast on their channel. Now, granted, this podcast really needed a channel of its own, but I do understand, obviously, if I had a channel that had 9 point whatever million subscribers, I'm gonna post my shit on there, okay? Anyways, Niki and Gabi, they discuss about how this is gonna be different, how they're grown adults, and how they really held their private life for the past year. They kept it from us because there was a lot going on, and now they're ready to really be open with us, share a lot of aspects that are going on. Now, I do want to add here before I play the clip, Nikki was talking like they were just going to be doing podcasts from now on, because now currently, it's 2023, and they were like, oh guys, let me know like what you want, because we're going to start posting videos again. That's always the plan. But here, take a listen, because I honestly truly thought it was just going to be Nikki and Gabi podcast land now.
I want you guys to understand, like, we're kind of going from a small business to working in partnership with another company, and we are the talent for the first time. We are not running them behind the scenes. We show up, we sit here, we talk with you guys. All the burdens of all the things that used to stress us out and honestly make us fight over filming is not our burden anymore. So we're really actually excited to film this. Like, this honestly will help Nikki and I's relationship. I hope you guys know that.
Yes.
Like, we have a great producer named Shannon.
Yeah.
And she designed this amazing set, and we get to really just enjoy our connection with you guys and each other. We don't have to worry about all that other stuff. Usually, like back in the day when people would watch our videos, they would say, wow, those two sisters look like they don't even want to sit next to each other. They look like they hate each other.
And little did people know we were the ones setting up the mics and the audio and the monitors and the cameras, even the angles, the topic of discussion, the lines, the scripts, the brand deals. It was a lot. And just working with anybody you love, it's too much when you run a business together. So I'm really excited to see where this goes when Nikki and I can just literally sit here, relax, show up in glam, and talk about the things that we really want to share with you.
Show up in glam. It's important.
Show up in glam.
So let me know what you guys think about that, because I honestly thought it was just going to be, I'm okay with any like Nikki and Gabi video. I'm just saying I thought they quit with the videos because they were tired of it. But anyways, moving on. So then they dive into how their world, their life is different from their friends and basically their environment. They have friends that have 9-to-5s and they don't. Gabi discusses how she thought about going to school to become an RN because she wanted to eject people, like give them fillers, things like that in their faces. And so where Nikki shared with us that her therapist was like, she should be a therapist, and really Nikki should be, because you can see how Nikki reflects on her life. She does a lot of deep thinking. And honestly, I think they both would be great in whatever they put their minds to. That's really what it is at the end of the day with anyone. You want to do something, you put your mind to it, keep your eyes on your own paper, stay consistent, and eventually you get there. That's really the rule to anything, in my opinion. The girls also do dive into getting into the dating life, because how that's really weird, because you never really know. And this goes with friendships as well. You never really know if people are there for you because they want your lifestyle, they want to live it as well, or if they really genuinely like you. And then when the two were asked to both describe each other, basically what I got from Nikki, the way how Gabi described Nikki, was that Nikki is basically a control freak over her career. She wants everything to be perfect for her career, which kind of ends up making her just a control freak at sometimes. And what I got from Nikki about Gabi is that when Gabi feels overwhelmed a lot, she just shuts herself out. She's kind of like, bye, and escapes for a little bit from this whole entire world and life when things get too hectic. Now, because it's a podcast, they do kind of jump back and forth to conversations. But when discussing about their personal life and hiring friends, hiring assistants, you have Nikki, who's just like, I'd rather hire people who I know. But you have Gabi, who's like, I'd rather hire people who I have had a history with in the past, I don't want to hire people who I don't know because there's a huge trust issue there. And Nikki's just like, but are you going to take the risk? Like, isn't that risky? Because, what if the friendship doesn't work out? What if, the friendship is worn and torn, And Gabby's just kind of like, I'm going to take that risk. She doesn't want someone to be like roaming around her home with the phone and just be like, look what Gabi DiMartino did. You know what I mean? So Nikki discusses, sorry for my throat. I keep apologizing because I know I sound horrible. So anyways, Nikki discusses how sometimes, when you have friends that work for you, they utilize that and take advantage of the situation and will have them, kind of turn against each other. And so clearly some situation like this have happened in the past, but Gabi does share that the idea of them needing an assistant, she feels like it all stems from just not wanting to be alone. And Gabi does go on to say that she tends to cling on or hang on to people that she's known before the fame. And they started YouTube when they were 17. Now, here's where the tea gets so good because Nikki, she then shares like 36 minutes into this video. We're going to play the clip. She shares that she's been lonely for like 5 years. Take a listen.
I think because we grew up in a household where like yelling was normal and like our parents fought a lot. I don't care if it's part of my story, so I'm going to say that. I became almost like conditioned and used to living in chaos and like going to school and acting fine and getting good grades and being a good cheerleader and a good dancer and then tolerating that at home. I almost think that that felt normal. And I realized as an adult, it doesn't have to be that way. You can choose what chaos you accept in your life, and it shouldn't be chaos.
You choose what's that quote? You accept the love you think you deserve.
Yeah.
And
well, I thought that that's just life, and that life is chaotic, and it is. And I'm learning right now, it is not. It does not have to be. And I think that also something else. I think my life, for the longest time on social media, looked like I constantly was doing cool things and having fun and with people, but I was actually so fucking lonely from 2017 till 2022 January. Very lonely.
that's 5 years. That's half of this career.
I'm not trying to play victim because I hate that. I actually think there were some things like, I isolated myself, but I think that was my response to trauma. I think like isolating yourself is like, if you get too close to people, they'll see the cracks in your real life and actually make you try to change it. And I wasn't ready. And this first episode and we're getting deep.
Damn.
But yeah, we can touch on this in another episode.
So, that is some serious tea because who do we know Nikki was with in those 5 years? Nate. So I think it's interesting. And to me, I kind of think if you're going to talk about it, talk about it. If you're not going to talk about it, don't talk about it. But at the same time, I understand like when you're going through situations and you're being watched and you have millions of subscribers, like to have people like, even making a video like this right now and other things of that nature, comment, leave rude things. Like it could be all overwhelming, too much for one individual to handle. So I do get it. I get it. But still, sometimes me watching just as a viewer, sometimes I'm just like, all right, what was it? Can you just tell us? Just tell us. But anyways, it's very interesting. So the two really just kind of reminisce on what it's like, living in their lifestyle. Nikki, she's going to be going to LA. Gabi, she wants to go to New York. So they're both going to try to find apartments there. What's interesting is that, Nikki talks about Gabi's lifestyle, how she's messy. So they kind of just discuss how, they're doing more things. They want to do more things with their career. They want to be more, out there and more creative. And Gabi wants to get more into her music, and so does Nikki. And the whole takeaway from this episode, it was to kind of understand how their lifestyle is different from the lives of people around them and how they deal with different situations, you know, regarding like friendships, relationships. Now, Nikki also closes the episode with kind of discussing, the two of them really, discussing how the universe made it to where they're both single right now. Everything happened to them in the same year, in the same month. So now they're both single. Now they're thriving, trying to live off in their careers, you know, one in LA, one in New York. So that was really it for episode 1. I mean, it was really, you could tell it was their first episode, podcast form. So they were, you know, there was a little bit uncomfortableness going on, but it's just, you know, the first time you could tell they're not used to sitting down with the mic and talking. But as the episodes progress on, you can see them being a little bit more comfortable. And I am so glad they changed that goddamn background. Thank you so much for that. But my takeaway from this was really Nikki and what she had to say about Nate feeling alone for 5 years. Because then I start to have follow-up questions like, why were you feeling alone for that long? Did you feel like you need to stay in that relationship because there was that work dynamic going on? You know what I mean? Like, I have so many questions that will probably never get answered because it's not my life. But still, I have questions. But anyways, I am done talking. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm going to watch the second episode. I gotta catch up. I know there's like a ton. So I will see you guys soon on the next video. Bye, guys.